Okay, folks, BAFTA has just wrapped up. I kind of like BAFTA where I'm at now, actually. It's evening over there, but it's mid-afternoon over here. So, yeah, it's kind of nice. I don't have to stay up till 12, 1 o'clock in the morning to wait for the end of award shows. Oscars could learn from that, but okay, yeah, it's not a huge problem there. Anyway, so big story here. The Revenant has taken, let me double check, I think if I counted correctly, and I'm doing it again just to make sure, 5. Yep, 5 awards. Mad Max has also done very well over here at BAFTA today. Wait, that can't be right. I counted 3. It's got to be more than that. 4. There we go, 4. So Mad Max took 4, Revenant took 5. Everything else, I think, only took 1 award. Hateful Eight took original score. Visual effects went to Star Wars. Let's see here, what else? Let's see here. Brooklyn won for Outstanding British Film. Spotlight took original screenplay. The Big Short took adapted screenplay. Room took Best Actress for Brie Larson. Mark Rylance for Despise won for supporting actor. And for supporting actress, it was Kate Winslet for Steve Jobs. I didn't do too bad at predicting these this year. I don't know why I did last year, but I kind of decided at the last minute after DGA, PGA, SAG all went for Birdman. I kind of went all in and said, okay, Birdman for all sorts of prizes over here, and I got a lot of them wrong last year. So I did much better in comparison this year. Okay. Yeah, so starting off with the ones I missed here, I missed foreign film. I went with The Assassin Wild Tales one, which was a competitor at last year's Oscars for foreign language film. Yeah, I don't watch very many foreign films actually, with a few exceptions here and there. So I don't know if that's anyways. Film editing went to Mad Max over Big Short and The Revenant. Yeah, that's kind of making me think, and I already went ahead and switched at the Oscars to Mad Max for film editing. So hopefully I don't regret it because I had The Revenant there just an hour ago or so, and now I'm switching. So hopefully that pans out. Makeup and I got a costume design wrong. That also went to Mad Max over both Carol and Cinderella and Danish Girl. I had it in fourth. And I'm starting to think, it also won the Critics' Choice. Mad Max, again, with the film editing, it's starting to look like it'll do a mini sweep of these tech categories here. And I have it down right now for winning 5 Oscars. So I think costume design will go along for the ride. Let's see, what else did I miss? Best Sound. This was a nice surprise. It went to The Revenant. Yeah, so that's weird. You would think Mad Max in a cakewalk there. I do have The Revenant down for sound mixing at the Oscars. Sound editing, I think, will still go to Mad Max, but I'm not too certain about that anymore after this. And not always does this line up with the Oscar. I mean, they gave it to Whiplash last year, and it was only eligible in sound mixing. They've given it to Gravity, Les Mis, Hugo, I believe, won as well. Inception won here, if I'm remembering correctly. I could be wrong about that. No, I think that was that. Slumdog won here. That one, I believe, sound mixing at the Oscars. Born won here. That one, sound editing, I think. I don't know if it won mixing or not. I would have to. I'm just going to double check that quick. So, yeah, it did win both. Okay, sound mixing and editing. Yeah, so sometimes, they take both. I don't know if it will though. I'm starting to think that, or I'm not starting to think, I should say. I'm thinking here. Shit, I just X'd out of that. Now I have to load it up again. Damn it. Just a second here. Okay. Yeah, what was I saying? I forgot. Oh, yeah, about the sound categories. There we go. Yeah, I'm not 100% sure that Revenant is going to lose editing, though. Could still pull that off, but I'm not going to go out on the limb for it yet. Let's see. What else did I miss? I think. Let's see. I got score, British film. I got those. Yeah, cinematography definitely going to Lubeski at this point. The only other one I missed was Steve Jobs, Kate Winslet, and I don't think this will make way too much of an impact going forward. Yeah, definitely now that Rooney Mara has lost everywhere, all five ceremonies that she's been up at here in the or four, I should say, so far. Oscars haven't happened yet, obviously. She's definitely in third place now, behind Winslet and Vic Kander at this point. And yeah, this is exactly what I thought would happen, except I thought it would go to Mara instead of Winslet. Um, and Vic Kander has lost the Globe and BAFTA, and she's won SAG and Critics' Choice. Lupita Nyong'o did the same thing 2 years ago. Then again, she did have a good backbone in there of her film was turned out to be the Best Picture winner as well, and Danish Girl, of course, not nominated for Best Picture. So yeah, yeah, that's something to consider. But at the same time, the Danish Girl does have, I think, three other nominations, if I counted correctly: actor, what are the other two? Costume and production design. So it's got a little more support than Steve Jobs does, which only has Fassbender otherwise. And yeah, Mara I think has just lost all traction in this race now. And Rylance's win for British Spies, I don't think that convinces me that Stallone's in trouble. I don't think so. Um, First of all, I was watching a live blog there for Deadline again. I like to their live blogs are pretty quick updates. So I like knowing things as soon as possible with these award shows that I can't watch or choose not to watch if I don't have time and stuff. But yeah, they're good ones. Um, and from what if I read correctly, Rylance wasn't there, and he was on Broadway. He's on Broadway performing something or other. He's in a play or something. And Spielberg accepted for him. Okay, if any Oscar voters were watching there and they saw, okay, so if you're going to give it to Rylance, and of course Stallone was not nominated there at BAFTA. You're going to give it to Rylance, and he doesn't even show up, and his director has to accept for him. Yeah, you're probably not going to get too many votes off of that alone. I mean, there's probably still going to be people who vote for him just because they like the film and maybe they like him in the film or whatever. But I don't think it's enough. So Stallone has just he's won the other two that he's been nominated at. Rylance this is his only win throughout the season. Ruffalo has been up at two other award shows and has lost both times. Christian Bale has lost everywhere, and Tom Hardy lost. He was only at Critics' Choice otherwise, but he lost there too to Stallone. So I think Stallone has got it pretty not 100% wrapped up, but I would say 90% wrapped up. I mean, and the feelings that go around the industry for this guy just really show that he's got the support he needs. Moving on, before we get to the actor and actress categories, which I think are absolutely 100% locked up at this point, director and picture both went to The Revenant. Again, this is a strong showing for The Revenant here. Let's see here. I like to update this little thing here, keeping track of everything that's happened so far throughout the season. Yeah, so now The Revenant has racked up DGA, Golden Globe for drama, and now BAFTA. It's looking pretty good, folks. It's looking good for the Oscar now. Not just for director, I think, at this point, because, I mean, Iñárritu has won just about everywhere now. The only thing he lost was Critics' Choice, and that was to George Miller. And yeah, I'm still not 100% sure that George Miller doesn't pull this off. The thing that's keeping me down on Miller, though, at the moment is he wasn't a nominee at BAFTA, didn't win DGA, and those are pretty significant misses there. And Iñárritu has won everywhere, and DGA is the biggest one to win. If you win everything but DGA and that goes to somebody else, you still probably want to lean on whoever won DGA. And yeah, I think Iñárritu has got this. Not 100% locked up yet, but But I would say, yeah, about roughly 85% wrapped up. Yeah, the only other thing I can see is George Miller, but still, he's got a long road ahead of him, and he's got a long 2 weeks now. The ceremony's in 2 weeks. He's going to have to really start. Really, I mean, the only other way is to really get in on those people who haven't voted yet, and I'm sure there's a good chunk of people in the Academy who haven't voted yet, but he would need to really start knocking on doors and getting people to vote for him, and I don't quite see that happening as of yet. Yeah, heading over to Best Picture. Yeah, Revenant has, like I said, Globe, BAFTA, and DGA on its side, and it's also, of the recent films here that have kind of been surging in the Best Picture race, Spotlight, Revenant, and Big Short. It has been doing it's been doing best of these three in the chunk of time that nominations have come out. Big Short kind of rallied there after the PGA win. SAG rallied after Critics' Choice or Spotlight, I should say, rallied after the SAG and Critics' Choice win. And then ever since then, the Revenant has been all you've been hearing. DGA and BAFTA. And true, WGA was last night, and that again was Big Short and Spotlight in their respective categories. So the screenplays I think are locked up. Especially when again heading over to Best Actor and Best Actress, those are completely locked up now. If Larson can beat out her British compatriots at BAFTA, definitely, yeah, she's got it, 100%. And Leo, I mean, he's got it, no question anymore. And yeah, so. Yeah, that's three of the three acting races, I think, pretty well locked up. Again, with Stallone being the third. It's just Vikander and Winslet duking it out for supporting actors. But still, I'm thinking Vikander, she's got another film out there, Ex Machina, which is a double nominee at the Oscars for screenplay and for visual effects. And and she's also, this would be her first win. It's her first nomination. Winslet already has an Oscar on her shelf, and this is her sixth nomination or seventh, one of the two. And yeah, Steve Jobs doesn't quite have the support that Danish Girl has across the other branches there. The only branch to accept Steve Jobs was the acting branch. Not even the writers branch could put in Aaron Sorkin for adapted screenplay. I mean, I'm still kind of shaking my fist at him because that's ridiculous. But yeah. I mean, that for me is probably the best screenplay of the year. But yeah, not to get into personal biases or anything here, but yeah. And then looking at some of these technical races, I think are wrapped up too. Definitely the screenplay races are done. Cinematography's done. Makeup and hairstyling is pretty much done. Unless the Revenant just sweeps every last technical category, with maybe a couple exceptions here and there. Like, I don't think costume design, it has a prayer, and I don't think what's the other one? Visual effects. Yeah, visual effects is getting pretty heated between Star Wars and Mad Max. So I don't know if it'll pull out there. So yeah, unless it really just, I mean, everybody puts down the Revenant for everything, then I don't think it's going to win makeup or visual effects, but or costumes. I think those are the three that it can't win. I think film editing, I think, is still a slight chance. Production design, it did win the Art Directors Guild over like Danish Girl and Bridge of Spies, two of its other nominees here. So that it could happen, but I think Mad Max winning here today for production design at BAFTA, Critics' Choice, and I think it was up at the other guild for art directors and won there. So I think that's Mad Max's. And yeah, the other one is sound editing. It could still pull that off, definitely. So yeah, what other categories are locked up? Best score, I think, is locked up. Original score, I should say. Hateful Eight, that's Morricone's. He's won everywhere. So yeah, forget anybody else in that category. And yeah, so I'm more convinced than ever now that Star Wars is going to win visual effects over Mad Max. It won the VES. It's now won here at BAFTA. Yeah, it's got it. It's got it for sure. And two other categories to lock up are animated feature and documentary feature. Amy and Inside Out for their respective categories there. Don't bet on anything else. Yeah, obviously with Son of Saul not being a contender here today, though, There's not. I mean, the only other film that was nominated here that's an Oscar nominee was Thebe, and that didn't. It won for a outstanding. Or hang on, what was that category? Outstanding debut by a British writer, director, or producer. Yeah, that's obviously a category we don't see at the Oscars, and I don't see any support for it anywhere else really. Not that I've been. I don't think it was a nominee at Globes, but I could be. I could be wrong about that. Let me double check that quick. Was it a nominee at Globes? No. And I don't think it got in at Critics' Choice either. Yeah, Critics' Choice have a category for it. Yeah. No, yeah. So it only got in at BAFTA and Oscars. So I don't think so for that one. Yeah. So I'm starting to think we're kind of we're dwindling down in time in this race now before the Oscars, and really it's only a couple of guilds left before this is the last kind of big award show before then. We've still got let's see here. We've got the sound editing guilds and the sound mixing guilds left. Makeup and hairstyling guilds left. Let's see what else here. Costume design guild has yet to go on. And what's the cinematography guild? There we go. Yeah, I was about to say we're missing one. And I think those are all set for, if they're not, I think there might be one tonight. I'm not 100% sure on this, but one of them might be tonight, and the rest of them I think are going down next Saturday and Sunday. So, and the only other one is Indie Spirit Awards, and yeah, that's probably going to go to Spotlight for at least picture and director, I think. Brie Larson will win again there, and yeah. And then screenplay, if it's not going to Spotlight, it might go to Anomalisa there. But yeah, the Indie Spirit, and then first screenplay is Rooms. Lock that up. And then editing, I think, will be Spotlight. So Spotlight will have a good rallying there at the Indie Spirit Awards, but that's literally the day before Oscars. Ballots are in by then, and it won't be enough, I don't think. Yeah. So at this rate, things are looking pretty good for The Revenant. Spotlight didn't defeat it here at BAFTA. It's won DGA, and I'm kind of repeating myself here, but I'm kind of. Yeah, it's got to be locked up for a lot of these categories, and yeah, there's still that chance that Spotlight could pull it off. I mean, with Critics' Choice and SAG, those are the only two wins that The Departed had going into the Oscars. Then again, that was for not Screen Actors Guild, but for Directors Guild Award, which is a little more significant. So you can kind of take that with a grain of salt there. And Big Short, I think, has just lost all of its steam since that PGA win. And again, we've been hearing that was only by a very, very, very small margin. So that could have been a thing of, okay, The Revenant, had only, it wasn't the big box office success it was yet. It had been doing pretty good, but since then it stayed pretty close to the top of the box office charts. It had, DGA hadn't happened yet, and it's been rallying a little bit since then. Like I said, Art Directors Guild was huge. The Supporting Visual Effects Guild was huge. And yeah, DGA obviously is the big one. But yeah, it's as far as I'm seeing here, The Revenant with 5 big wins here today shows it's got that strength, especially when it wins something like Best Sound. Yeah, that's when it's looking pretty good for The Revenant there. When it can beat out definitely Mad Max, which was, again, I can't remember if I had Revenant in second or third here, but it was in the hunt. But I was thinking Mad Max, not easily, but I thought Mad Max had this one, and for it to beat it out there, that's a pretty good sign that things are leaning on Revenant here for quite a few of these, or for a few categories at least, picture being one of them. Okay, so let's see, before we wrap up here, like I said, yeah, there are a couple of changes I've made to my Oscar predictions since then. I went ahead and switched, like I said, to film editing to Mad Max. I'm still thinking, Ace Eddie has the big editing guild award has been wrong the last 2 years in both because they split it between comedy and drama. They've been wrong 2 years in a row. They went with Captain Phillips over Gravity, and last year Boyhood over Whiplash, and then the two comedy didn't pan out either. They could still be wrong here, and if Big Short and Mad Max are kind of drawing blood there and kind of fighting each other over this, they might say, people might say, you know what, I might go with the Revenant on this one, and then they put it in there, and the passion votes for Revenant, who just chalk it up everywhere, and I'm sure there are people in the Academy who just say, oh yeah, the Revenant for costume, Revenant for makeup, Revenant for production design. They knock, just everything for the Revenant. Well, maybe not supporting actor, but a couple of those big technical categories, they'll say, yeah, Revenant everywhere, and that might be enough to push it to the most votes. But I don't think so. At least not at the moment. Yeah, Mad Max, I think it's just shown. I mean, it won editing also at Critics' Choice, if I'm remembering correctly here. Did it? Maybe it didn't. Was that Big Short? Can't remember who won there. Hold on. Yeah, I can't remember. Oh, where'd it go? Oh, shit, they have so many things here. Yeah, they went with Mad Max. That's right, for film editing at Critics' Choice. See, I think that's enough to put it there. And then I've also I went ahead and put Mad Max for costume design too. I think that's one. Okay, they chalk it up for film editing, for makeup, for production design, for what's the other one? Sound editing. Yeah, they'll go ahead and put it down for costumes too. Because yeah, I think Cinderella, it's its only vote. Carol has lost all steam. I mean, I don't think it's won anything anywhere. It lost all 5 of its votes at Golden Globes. Didn't win any Critics' Choice Awards. Went 0 for 9 here at BAFTA today. I mean, I think it's done everywhere. It's just disappointed everywhere, everywhere. Man, it's crazy. So yeah, I think they'll go with Mad Max here. There's still that chance, though. I think the Danish Girl could still pull off a costume design win. I think the only one, yeah, Revenant, that I don't think stands much of a chance. But yeah, I think it's going to come down to me for Mad Max, Cinderella, and Danish Girl for that one. But still, I'm gonna stick with Mad Max just in that technical sweep state of mind there. Yeah, I'm sticking with my sound mixing vote for the Revenant. I'm gonna be not very many people have been considering this one lately. I think everybody's just going on to the Mad Max train, but hopefully I can shake my fist in victory on that one, but we'll see. And yeah, I'm keeping visual effects for Star Wars, even though there's a lot of people going for Mad Max. But Visual Effects Guild, BAFTA now, 900 million plus domestic hit, or 900 million, I should say, plus domestic hit, 2 billion worldwide. I think, yeah, that's enough to put it in the top spot there. Plus, the mix of practical and digital effects. True, Mad Max did it as well, but they've just put a lot more on that for Star Wars in their advertising for it and word of mouth for it. So yeah, I'm thinking those are my changes there, or keeping with wild predictions at the moment at least. Yep, I'm still keeping Revenant out front, and Inuyaritu out front. The acting races are the same. Yeah, the only other change, just those technical changes I've made since then. So yeah, I think I'll just probably... Oh, when do I want to comment next? I think after all the guilds are done, if anything, again, significant happens, I might change my mind on something. I'll let you know. But probably I'll probably save it actually for the final predictions for the Oscars, and those will be coming out probably in a little less than 2 weeks. I don't think I need to say anything more here until we're done, because I think things are starting to kind of wrap up and come together. And yeah, I don't see any last minute rallying for any films for Best Picture or anything. So yeah. Yep. Okay. So Until next time,